About to see the new toy.
That is a Stik.
That is a Stik. I like it. Visually, it looks sweet.
It looks really cool. Well, guys, a lot of you have asked, but we finally have someone this year that's going to shoot a Stik. And he's going to try to kill a deer with it. Benjamin has never killed a deer with a trad bow before, nor has anybody else on THP, to my knowledge. Maybe Greg has in his younger years. Maybe not. I don't remember.
You guys tried.
Oh, we tried. Greg's tried. I know that for sure. Benjamin is getting his new bow set up here at Archery Field and Sports.
This is a Bear Montana.
Bear Montana longbow. And that's his goal this year, is to try to harvest a deer with it. Got to get some arrows to fling and then he'll be set. All right, Nick, if you're new to shooting trad stuff, what's the first thing you need to do? What's the first thing you need to know?
You need to know how much weight you can pull and not overbow yourself right off the bat.
Why is that a problem if you get too many
You will get
pounds?
horrible form very quickly,
Okay.
just from struggling with the weight all the time.
All right, show him where he needs to have it
As
at.
far as form,
My mistakes.
basically, I want you to get a good solid anchor point, somewhere that's repeatable, up against your jaw, touching here. What you normally do is gonna work just fine.
Right.
Then, we basically want, as you can go ahead and shoot.
Okay.
If you see, I don't know if you're looking at me or him, you see his back elbow, just go ahead and draw. We pretty much want it to be in line, shoot it. In line with the arrow. Everything being lined up makes everything a whole lot easier. It's repeatable, it's consistent.
Does it matter if you have like 3 fingers under or 1 on top or?
Yeah, it just changes the knock point. If it's split finger, it'd be a little bit lower. But 3 under like this is gonna be a little bit higher. I like shooting 3 under.
Yeah, this tab's specifically for 3 under.
That is a 3 under tab. Pretty
there's no
much.
split in it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
I have
There's
a
no
split one in my
split.
pocket here. That's a split one.
Okay, gotcha.
But with 3 under, I've kind of grown to like it. It's because it gets the arrow more in alignment with your eye. Just makes it way easier to aim.
When I had my arm, or when I had my hand positioning pretty much around the whole grip, I would hit the right side of my elbow a lot. But when I switched to like a 45 degree, you can see how it changes that direction of your elbow.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's not a much clearance you're talking, but it's enough where you're not hitting that anymore.
Yep.
Hey, there you go.
Good shot.
It's getting there.
Huge part of this too is tuning. We kind of mess with these arrows with point weight and everything, and length to get them where we wanted to be. Just with having less oomph than a compound, you need the arrow to go straight.
Right. You need to get perfect flight.
Yes.
That's why we take it to you guys. What is there any tricks to storing those things, or do you have to
So-
like take the string off every time?
I pretty much, if I'm not going to shoot it for more than about a week, I'll take the string off. If I'm shooting them a lot, I just leave it strung because I'm going to shoot it probably every day.
I got you.
When you take the string off, use a stringer. Don't use your foot. It's effective, but it can mess the limbs up.
Sure. Yeah.
Twisted limbs do not tune.
On a side note, these guys are getting ready to go down hunting in Missouri, and we have a bunch of stuff going on in Missouri this year. There's actually a turkey research project going on in northern Missouri right now that we're going to cover with NWTF. It's a collaboration between MDC and NWTF, this project. We'll probably try to do another fundraiser there like we did in the Southeast last spring for turkey research. And we'll post links down below where you guys can learn more about conservation in Missouri. They have a bunch of like volunteer programs. They have a bunch of mentored hunts, that sort of thing, virtual events that are really cool that the public can participate in. So go click on that link and check all those out, especially if you're a Missouri resident and are looking to participate in conservation. So look at that, and hopefully watch Benjamin shoot a deer with his Stik here real soon.
You got it dialed in, huh?
I mean, getting a pretty good group. It's mental. It's just everything's mental, and when not,
You
It's
just
90% mental and the rest is in your head.
the rest of it's. I was gonna say. I wonder if bald eagles mate for life. Yeah, I really think we're gonna kill something here. That's a wall hanger.
I'd hang her straight directly on my wall. If I shot her. Look at him. Is it 3 does or? I thought that one looked like a buck.
I think that one was making a little scrape underneath the tree.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's good.
Ted and I bounced over to another area. We've hunted for the past 3 days in a different area, and just, I mean, it's been tough hunting with us. We've been still hunting through stuff, been moving and scouting our way into spots, and still haven't been hardly finding anything sign-wise or deer-wise. So we decided to jump over to another area. It definitely looks like it's holding a lot of deer right now. Talked to one of the locals here, and he said there's a lot of deer in here. So we've just been driving around tonight. I think we've already seen probably close to 10 deer. So
It's more than we saw at the last 2 areas combined.
yeah, that's more than total we've seen in the last 3 days. So it's starting to look a lot better, obviously. But getting on them is going to be a different story, it sounds like, because they're pretty spread out in here. There's a lot of stuff they can bed in, a lot of food, so it's not going to be no easy task to get on one. But again, I'm going to shoot a doe or any legal buck, so I feel good always about our chances. But yeah, tonight we had about 2 hours, so we just decided to scout and not even go out and hunt, just driving around, figuring out where these deer are at. So I'm pretty glad we did that, because we pinpointed some spots. Also pinpointed there's some hunters around here, you know, hunting the same area, so know the pinpoint where the pressure's at. We'll see. I don't know how long we'll stay out here, but if we start getting eyes on big bucks, it might be here for a little while. Until that's exactly what we're looking for. We just dumped off the main trailhead here. We're heading back into all this thick stuff. Pretty much there's just 1 or 2 fingers of trees over here in all of this real thick grass. It's kind of like wetlands. I'm kind of expecting some of these deer to be pocketed up in these fingers, especially if there's persimmons in them, because that's kind of our main goal, is to target persimmons, because a lot of the locals are saying that's what they're hammering right now, even over acorns. So that's kind of really encouraging that we just ran into our first persimmon tree, just dropped right down in here, and it's right here. So hopefully we'll find some buck sign too.
We're headed back in this evening, going into the spot that we kind of scouted around this morning. What we've been hearing from locals is that these deer are on the persimmons pretty heavy, so that's what we went into this morning, looking for persimmons. Ended up finding quite a few trees back in here that were holding the fruit, and we found a bunch of deer sign around those trees. So we're going back in this afternoon, gonna get way up in a tree and just do a little observation sit over all this thick cover and crop fields. Got this water back behind us, so lots of good stuff in here for them. Deer right here. Oh, freak. That's a little buck. Looking at it. No, it's not. It's like behind it. So we've been set up for like 20 minutes, and I think we have another half hour of legal shooting right here. And immediately as Ted put his foot on his platform, he looked up and there was a deer standing right in the clearing here. And the deer was just like a little 4-pointer, a spike, and behind it was a doe and a yearling. The doe and the yearling, they went, I don't know if they munched on the persimmons a little. They did. I think they munched on them a little bit, but then they walked down to this cornfield. So I feel good about the spot still, and hoping that we more just set this up to glass, and we got up here really high with only 2 sticks. But we got up here really high. We can see a long ways, so hoping we can just spot a big one out here somewhere. But I mean, that's encouraging to have 3 deer come within 100 yards or so. And that little buck was going to come right down in front of us. But I was dropping milkweed. It started going towards this water like I thought it would. Then it switched and went right out in the middle. And he caught our wind because we stink. Because it's 90 degrees and we're all sweating. I'm sweating to the bone right now. Just sit here and see what we see. I'm encouraged by that. By seeing that doe, I'm definitely going to shoot a doe if one comes by. I'm not going to regret that one bit if I do shoot. Other side of that dirt, right above this big green bush, to the right of the tree. Picture here, let me see the camera. Out and we've been in the tree for 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I'm looking at this. I don't know how I seen him. I just see rags. Long ways over there. Long ways, but we walked right by him. I mean, that's that. We walked right, probably within 100 yards. I mean, he's bedded right on the edge of that water. Yeah. I'm gonna watch him though, because he's working his way to the right a little bit. I mean, he's in thick stuff. There's no trees around him. No. It's just bushes and shrubs. So that's awesome. I don't know what he is, but he's a hammer. We needed to see. That's the confidence booster we needed. We haven't been seeing squat. I mean, we've been in Missouri for 5 days, but I mean that's the first big buck we've seen all week, and we've hunted so hard, extremely hard, and just seeing a nice one like that, that's awesome. That was quite the evening. That's probably our best evening we've had all week. What makes it the best is because we actually seen a big shooter buck. It's been such a hard week finding a buck, let alone a big one. So we just kind of came into the night with a mentality of just getting up as high as we could and spotting a buck, and that's sure enough what we did. I mean, he's really far away, but we walk right by him pretty much. So we got him pinpointed where he's at. And in this scenario, I really want to go after him, but I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back in the morning and then come up in the same tree, and we're just gonna glass again tomorrow morning and see if we can see him coming back in, and if he has a same pattern to his movements here, so we can then make a move on him. Or obviously we had a really nice green little 2-track in front of us here that these does and that little buck were going to come down. At least that little buck was. We got persimmon trees right over here, we got corn and water, so it's a really good spot. We'll just see what tomorrow holds, but our goal is just to glass him again or another buck and possibly have another deer come right in front of us for a shot. But awesome evening, even though it's 90 degrees out. They're still moving, so that's really encouraging. And tomorrow's maybe the same day. It's going to be about 90 degrees as the day goes on.
So we'll see you in the morning, I guess, and see if we can spot him. So we're working our way back on this little cornfield that goes back into this, I guess a slough you could call it. And we spotted a really big buck over here, and he's on the edge of this little creek. He's bedding in pretty much just thick grass, and there's no trees around that we can see of any trails that he might be taking, so we're probably just going to set up on the ground tonight. So we've been able to glass this area pretty good, and we haven't seen anything else come out other than him, so we're just kind of going for broke tonight and hoping just for a nice 10-yard shot in the ground, I guess. Just slowly work our way in and see if we can get close to him. So Ted and I just got ourselves tucked in back into this brush, and we're not far at all from where we think this buck might be bedded, at least where he may have came out of. We've got this tall, about 4-foot brush. It's a pretty high stem count, but then just about 70 yards away there's some thick brush that's pretty open on the understory, so he might be bedded right in that. And on the map you can see a trail coming right out of that brush, pretty much about 20 yards away from us. But we also have this ditch that runs right in front of us. I mean, it's probably about 10 yards, so I think we're in our best spot possible for intercepting this buck if he does come. Last time he hit the bank and walked this way, so if he comes out of this and not within range and hits that, we're just gonna beat it to the edge and see if we can't shoot him when he's on the edge. It's a pretty solid game plan, we just gotta hope that he's in there. It's 90 degrees. It's right about 90 degrees again tonight like it was yesterday. And we've seen a lot of deer. We've seen the most deer on their feet all week. So I cleared all this pretty much to bare dirt, just so I'm real quiet when I have to either stand up and draw, because I have an opening right here. This is my main opening. But I also have an opening right here in case I have to stand up and shoot. Ted's tucked behind me in the brush. I can't really see him that well either, so the deer shouldn't be able to see him. We got about another hour and a half here, and we're probably just gonna be glassing this brush really hard just to look for any tines moving. Pretty confident in this setup if he does come out of this, so hopefully he comes out and we'll be able to get a shot at him here with the longbow. think we can come back in here. Obviously, we just walked right where he's living. But, I mean, who knows? He could have just walked up this way. Because the wind's going this way. You got this thick edge right here. And he's bedding right on the edge of it. I mean, he's got a massive bedding circle. I mean, we got up here really quiet. We took our shoes off. We just had socks on. Back there, I was like, I'm going to take my pants off. Because my pants were scratching a little louder than I wanted to. It never hurt him. But maybe 50 yards, we weren't able to even see this spot. Because we were down in the ditch. So he could have very well got up and done something. We don't even know where he went. Hesitated for like 3 minutes because I wanted to see what he did before we went after him, because he was up on his feet, and then I did see his antlers go right back down. I mean, he was feeding a little bit up and down, but then he just got right back down again is what I saw. Like, that's just how many bucks are around here, we don't even know, because he literally was up for about 30 seconds to a minute, and then he went right back down again. They're not, I mean, it was really warm tonight, so I wasn't surprised he wasn't moving that far at all. It's encouraging that we got on him. We better get out of here before I don't know, something else happens where he comes back or something. He's spooked. Who needs a tractor when you can just plow it over yourself?
Yeah, going through some nasty horse weeds.
Alright guys, so we're back at the car right now, and that buck is the same buck that we spotted the other night. We came in there with a game plan thinking that he was still bedding in this pretty thick brush there, and he was either bedding in it or on the edge of it. And so we set up about 60 yards from it on a couple of good trails, and sure enough, glassed him getting right out of his bed. And when we made a move on him, we weren't really able to see exactly what he was doing in his bed. And somewhere in that time of stalking him, I think what he did is he walked back into that brush that he was bedding next to, and probably worked towards, there was like a fence row there with some persimmons, so I think he was possibly working that. Keep our attitude good, our confidence is still good on getting on him again. Definitely bummed a little bit that we didn't get a shot at him, because I thought he was going to be right in his bed even. I was going to just pull back and shoot him right in his bed, but it just didn't work out that way. And it's just encouraging to actually have a good opportunity at a buck like that after we've just been struggling the last, I don't know how many days, probably 4 days, 5 days.
4 or 5.
I mean, just super confidence booster after seeing him last night, making a move on him and seeing him again. But I think if we get eyes on another one, even tomorrow, we're gonna have a really good chance at getting on whatever buck we see. So we'll see what we see.
We'll see what we see. That's been the go-to.
I'm saying that way
huh?
too much. See what we see. We'll try to shoot something maybe. How about that?
You know, we're gonna try our best to kill something here. I know we haven't for the last 14 days of September, but you'll see us when you see us.